continuity plans and disaster recovery plans for them. So it's important that wherever your work, your IT systems are, maybe on premises or in the cloud, this needs to be taken care of. You need to have, I've seen quite a number of customers that I've spoken with, and I say, oh, what's your business continuity plan? And they'll be like, we just have the DR, we're just backing it up in a DR location somewhere. Okay, if there is a disaster now and this main system goes down, how long will it take it for this backup system to go on? How do you even do drills from time to time? And a good number of time, most of them don't even do drills. So if there is a attack on the main system, the backup is not even in sync to be able to catch up, right? And that's why and I'm talking about even big banks within the country or outside the country. I've seen this a lot because there is no clear business continuity plan and disaster recovery. Some even have it written down, but in action, they have not done drills in place. And that's one of the core principles that this ISO 27031 is hammering on. It needs to happen. What are the critical assets? Your core banking app. Do you have a disaster recovery plan in place for it? It's important to ask yourself. Then risk assessment and management. We need to constantly assess threats and implement safeguard things like pen testing that you do from time to time to identify threats. One of the things that we also do when we're deploying solutions for customers to address this, which I'll talk about, is ensuring we're putting threat detection services on so that it constantly reviews the environment to protect you against cyber attacks. Then also, what are the mitigation strategies? It's important to understand, how do you cover for redundancy? Do you have a failover system? Do you have backups? What are your security controls? Those are the things that this principle is looking out for in your architecture, in what you have designed in your environment. And also business impact analysis. Everybody knows this. You need to have a working recovery time objective and recovery point objective, and the difference is very clear. Just for many people that don't know, RTO, which is recovery time, is the maximum acceptable downtime that you can accept as a business before a service must be restored. So you, as your business, I've seen business that cannot even, they can only accept 2 seconds downtime. So we need to know what is your RTO. If your service is down, can your service survive for 10 minutes downtime? If yes, there's a strategy you can put in place for you. Oh, your service cannot survive even 0 seconds downtime. Then we know what to put in place. Oh, the service can survive 1 hour downtime. There's also a strategy. So your strategy is clear. It's important. When I have a conversation with my customers, I ask them, what is your RTO? Based on the kind of business you have, and also listen to this for cost point of view. Not all applications should have the same RTO and RPO, because not all are as critical. For instance, you cannot be defining RTO of maybe less than 4 seconds for an application that people only access once a while, right? You need to look at it because it is costly to run an active, which I'll talk about much more later, architecture. Then also from an RPO point of view, what's the maximum data loss allowed before serious impact, right? You also need to define it. Oh, can you, for instance, now, if you're a bank and you know that people would always come into the account maybe every second to check their account balance, you know that you cannot, your RPO has to be lesser. But if it's an application where the data is only checked daily, you then need to look at, maybe a longer RPO, because the more you want your data to consistently be replicated across multiple regions or multiple availability zones, the more the cost. But if it's an application whereby you're only doing check-ins daily, you can then look at a larger RPO for your business. So it's important that you define this, because business impact, and I ask all my customers this, because if I'm going to set up a disaster recovery solution for you or an architecture for you, it's important for us to know what's the RTO and the RPO that is acceptable by your business before we can do. Then other things are in incident response and recovery strategies. What are the protocols that you have put in place to to action disruptions. When there's a disruption, do you have clear-cut automated systems in place that is sending response to the team and they're acting on it? Then